Good evening, everyone. I will call to order the Plan Commission of the City of West Bend. It is July 2nd. Welcome to July 2024 at 6 o'clock p.m. More than 24 hours in advance of this meeting, notice of the time, place, date, and subject matter of the meeting was posted in accordance to Wisconsin state statutes. We recognize a quorum of the Plan Commission tonight with Scott Schneiberg out of town, and I don't know if Paul Fisher is going to join us shortly or not, but we do still have a quorum. I invite you to join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our first item of business is approval of our Plan Commission regular meeting minutes from June 4th, 2024.
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Mike, and a second by John. Any comments, questions, corrections? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We do have an item that requires a public hearing tonight. John, do you want to kick us off with our first item?
Sure. This evening we have one public hearing. It is a request to allow a food truck in the B1 Community Business District located at the associated parking lot to the west of 1515-1519 Washington Street by Tenn LLC.
Thank you. I will open our public hearing tonight. Anybody wishing to address the Plan Commission on this topic, please come to the podium, state your name, and you will be heard by the Plan Commission on this topic. Mr. Tennis is here tonight, and this is his property, so I don't know if you have anything you want to tell us ahead of time. Otherwise, if not, that's okay. If there's questions, Mr. Tennis is here.
It's pretty straightforward. Just a food truck over to the very west side of the parking lot. Just following the city requirements, so what's expected, and that's it.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
There's a motion to close the public hearing. Is there a second?
Second.
I saw Jeff over here. Motion by Chris Schmidt, second by Jeff Schleimer. Any discussion on closing the public hearing? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The public hearing is now closed, so we will entertain this item amongst the Plan Commission. Any discussion, questions, anything from staff?
Yeah, real basic. Like I said, this is just a food truck, like it was represented by Dave. Northwest corner hours of operations are going to be coincided with the building hours for restroom facilities and whatnot. And they're responsible for cleanup of the site, and then any temporary signage, we just ask that it be put up and removed on the property and removed once they close up. And staff does recommend approval.
Mike?
I know Jed brought it up a couple months ago about when is enough food trucks enough, having the food trucks rather than the brick and mortar places.
Sure. Again, with how we have been trying to set up the food trucks we try to give a wide variety of time and range so they don't have to keep coming back to amend the permits every time. But it is a incidental, with the other businesses. So it is, accessory to the use.
And Dave, you currently have a temporary permit for a food truck that has been operating on the property for a period of time?
Yes, but I think it expires the end of July here. They had asked if they could go longer, but you can only do that once per year. And this way, the property owners will own or have the right to the conditional use permit on file from the city to have one there year-round.
I'll make a motion to approve with the 6 conditions by staff.
Thank you, Chris, and a second by Matt. Motion to approve with the listed conditions. Any other questions, comments, discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you for being here tonight.
Yep, thank you.
We'll move on to our regular agenda items. Start with the certified survey map.
This evening, we have a request for an approval of a one-lot CSM to separate the existing farmstead from a remaining lands located at 2600 East Washington Street.
Okay. The applicant is the Hardegan Trust with Parish Survey and Engineering as the agent. Jim, any more comments?
Yeah, the purpose of this is to separate that farmstead off from the remaining property. You can see on the location map, we have a large vacant or farmland. So they're looking to separate that farmhouse off of that use and then sell the remaining property to a potential developer. We do have adequate right-of-way for Washington and Trenton Road. And the CSM does identify airport height limit restrictions, and then also the gas line that's adjacent to it on the east end. We would recommend approval of it with the condition some technical corrections are being made. We actually have received those revisions already, so that condition has already been satisfied.
Okay. I will entertain a motion on this item.
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Jeff. I'll take the second by John Sparts. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Comprehensive plan amendment, John?
This evening, we have a comprehensive plan map amendment for a change in the recommended land use from commercial to industrial in the 2020 comprehensive plan for the city of West Bend for approximately 9.64 acres of land located at 2320 Sullivan Way by the city of West Bend Department of Community Development.
Thank you. Jim?
Thanks. So this is just an introduction for the land use discussion and just to set the public hearing. The property owner is requesting a change to the land use. The recommended land use actually has the majority of this parcel in as industrial already. There's this northern parcel or portion of that parcel that was slated for commercial. The reason for the discontinued or change of uses in there was because of a certified survey map that was done back in 2021, and the lot configuration was slightly different back then with the car dealership. So what they're requesting to do is asking for the change for that northern portion to be consistent with the rest of their land on the south. Staff has reviewed the area, given the surroundings. We have commercial to the west, multifamily to the north, and industrial to the east and south. So staff feels that this could be an appropriate land use change for this, and it also makes it consistent with their current use that they have there. Along with this, they would also submit a rezoning change to go from the B4 general business and commercial or warehousing district to the M3 planned business park district. This zoning is consistent with the zoning to the east and to the south for the remaining industrial. So if the commission finds this to be acceptable, staff would ask that we set the public hearing for August 6th at the 6 p.m. meeting.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to set the public hearing for August 6th at 6 o'clock.
So moved.
Thank you, Matt. Is there a second? Second, Mike? Any comments, questions, discussion on setting the public hearing for August 6th? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Our last item is a discussion. John, you want to take us through that?
Sure. The last item is a consideration, discussion, and possible action on scheduling a public hearing regarding a proposed project plan amendment for tax increment district number 16. This item was before the review board about a week ago. So if you're familiar with the tax increment districts, there is a project plan. That district's actually doing very well. There's at least 2 projects that have been approved by city council. Actually, there's four projects approved by city council, and there's potential, and 2 are actually under construction. So there's potential for more. And one of the thoughts was to repave part of Indiana Avenue going north from the TIF district. You can spend money within the TIF district within about a half-mile radius. Typically, that's used for infrastructure improvements, utilities, those types of things that either are impacted by the development of the TIF or are needed for services for that tax increment district. In the memo, we provided a little bit of a summary of sort of the traffic impacts. So there definitely will be an increase of traffic going northbound to that intersection, so it kind of warrants that there'll be increased traffic. It is at a lower grade of road at this particular point at this time, and so the Joint Review Board seemed favorable of amending the project plan to have an expenditure for the costs of road improvements coming from the tax increment district. The benefit of the tax increment district of paying for the road improvements is that just means when it gets to that list for that part within the capital, that item is removed, and the city can pay for some other road to get improved from that perspective. So we just ask you to schedule a public hearing for an upcoming meeting, and it will go through the process. In the report, we kind of summarize what the process is. So it'll come for a public hearing before Planning Commission. There'll be City Council approvals as well as the Joint Review Board approvals that will follow.
Motion to approve setting a public hearing.
Second.
Thank you, Matt, for the motion, and second by Chris. Do you wish the public hearing to be on September 3rd is what's in the packet, or could it be August 6th? Or does it?
It would be the 3rd. So Ellers actually has a schedule all put together. And so they have a schedule of different things that will happen. And there is actually a lengthier time frame for public notice for the amendment to the plan. So That's why the 3rd.
Is that acceptable to your motion?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second to set a public hearing on this for September 3rd in front of the Plan Commission. Any comments, questions? Max, I think you've actually done a little bit of preliminary costing on the project to do the road. Do you want to share that at all?
Sure. So Concord Engineering Group actually did the cost estimate. I haven't seen it, but he sent it to you, John, and to Jay maybe.
Yeah, it's in the project plan.
For some reason, I have 2.5 million in my head.
I had 2.49 something, so
Okay.
2.5 seems correct.
Yes, and that's for the road going all the way to Kilbourne Avenue.
Yep. Thank you. Any other questions on this? Kind of a unique one that we don't get an opportunity to do this within a TID very often. But as John said, the TID is doing extremely well. The 4 projects that he was referring to have all 4 come before this board and were approved, and 2 are underway, and the other 2 are waiting on developers' agreements to be signed, which came before the council last night. So we're confident, I would say, that those will get signed on the next 2 projects. And another portion of this TID involves the We Energies site that the We Energies group is waiting on state approval to move that from that site to a different TID behind Piggly Wiggly, which could open up their current location for another major development within that TID. We don't necessarily have a developer on the line to do something there right now, but it is pretty prime real estate for development. So if that were to happen, that would be a couple of years away. We Energies wouldn't move out, this year or next year. It'd be probably 2026, but could also see another major development in that TID. So just want to make mention of that. We're going to have a quick meeting if we don't have any more discussion on this item. Any other questions? If not, all in favor of setting the public hearing for September 3rd, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Any other announcements for the group?
Your August agenda will be longer than this month's. I think we have potential 6 or 8 items. Some lengthier, some shorter, but
Sounds good. So August 6th is our next meeting at 6 o'clock. Your group always does a great job of sending out an email reminder, and we ask that you just let us know if you can't make it. Other than that, we're all done. This meeting's adjourned. Thank you.